Good morning, Spiritual Life Center. Welcome to the SLC Sunday Experience. We're so glad you're here with us this morning. We want you to know your soul is welcome here. And we welcome Carol Manson and we welcome Larry back to the platform. Yay!
That's right. You're in the right place at the right time. Let's all sing together. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. In the right place, I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be in my soul. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome. Are you getting the message?
I'm getting it.
And I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. I'm in the right place at the right time, and I'm just where I'm meant to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here, and I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome. I'm getting the message. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. And my soul is welcome here. And my soul is welcome here. Take it away, Carol. My soul is welcome here. Yeah. And my soul is welcome here. And my soul is welcome here. And my soul is welcome here. And my soul is welcome. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome
Well, good morning, Reverend Deborah. Good to see you this morning. Your soul is welcome here, as is everyone else today.
Good morning, Reverend James. It's great to be here with you today. And we greet you in the name of all that is good, all that is holy, and all that is sacred. And in the warm and loving energy of this community, Spiritual Life Center. Spiritual Life Center honors all people worshiping in temples, mosques, churches, stone circles, and of course, the beautiful temples of nature, because we know there is no space that God does not grace. And if you are with us for the very first time today, watching us online or here with us in person, we especially want to welcome you because we know that you are not here by accident. We are all here by divine appointment. And we're always very excited to get together on Sunday morning. And we're also really excited when you silence your electronic devices. And of course, please, no flash photography during the service. Thank you.
Well, let's take a moment to connect with this presence. A presence that is beyond words, but so very real. A presence that we're always a part of and can never leave us or forsake us. It is divine love itself. And as we make this presence the activity of our awareness, we begin to say without a doubt that when you see me, you are seeing the same presence that sent me, the same presence that we are all one with. It goes beyond time and space. It goes beyond any kind of human limitation. And as we make this part of our awareness here and now, we think of those who have come before us as we acknowledge Memorial Day and those who have served to make a difference in protecting the rights and freedoms of Americans and people across the world. Their energy is still with us. Any individual who has left us that have been close to us, even though they may not be here in our sight, they are still present in our energy field. Because anytime we think of them, we can think of all the qualities that they have added to our life. It may be peace or love or understanding, but it's always there for us to tap into. So we're grateful that we can be the vessels and vehicles to attract all of this energy of divine purpose and love and joy and wisdom in and as our life, and anchor it not only in our world, but in all those who cross our path. And so it is, and so we let it be. Amen. Well, we have a very important purpose as reflected in our mission statement, and I invite you to join in as we affirm it together, our expanded version of our mission. To transform lives, to make a positive difference in the world, as we love, serve, and remember. And we carry out that mission as we live these 5 basic universal principles that we embody as part of our unity movement and others who are part of this New Thought philosophy. Again, let's say them together. God is absolute good and everywhere present. People are inherently good. Thoughts create our experiences. Prayer and meditation are how we connect with God, and we must take action.
And we've had some great action on Wednesday nights recently. This week we have the 4th session of the Mental Healing Series. This one's called Practical Application, and we will set into motion things we've talked about over the last 3 weeks. We'll actually learn to write a prayer treatment and then share them with each other, and it's going to be a great time. If you have not been to the others or watched them, you can go back and get caught up. The handouts are online, so you can get the handouts, and I think it's going to be a great evening because we're going to actually put what we've been talking about into action. So,
Excellent.
yeah, the meal is at 6, and the class starts at 7.
7 o'clock, okay. And we have some additional action if you want to get involved in some physical action and cleaning. Our spring cleanup day is Saturday, June 11th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And I know there are some individuals, they cannot wait for this because they love to make sure that everything is spick and span and spotless. So come by, you can join in the fun while we're being of service to our spiritual community. There's going to be coffee, hot water, and lemon will be provided for those who want to have some drinks along the way. Good drinks. If you are so moved, you can bring your own healthy snack. And they're going to do some landscaping. So if you have some gloves, bring those, or tools that you have an identification on so that we don't get mixed up with ours. And if you want to have a sun hat to keep away from the sun from coming down on you, just bring that. So we're going to reorganize the kitchen, clean the appliances, organize our youth ed supplies, refill offering envelopes and holders on the backs of our sanctuary chairs, and we'll be washing windows inside and out. So if you miss doing any of that, you're welcome to be here for June 11th between 10 and 2 p.m. That's on Saturday.
And I believe that if they're interested, they should contact Pat Harvey.
Pat Harvey, she's the head person in charge of that. And what do we have going on?
Oh, you have enough time between the cleaning to go home, take a shower, and then you'll probably want to. And then attend the Sambadha Music of the World concert. It begins at 6 p.m. It's at George and Diane Piper's house, and all of the details and how to buy tickets are online, or you can also check at the hub.
Very good. And speaking of George Piper,
go on, George.
You know, one of the things that we do at Spiritual Life Center is focus on transforming ourselves in our world. And periodically we have someone to come forward to share their own transformation story. And that person this morning is George Piper. See, he can transform and make himself disappear. See, okay. Well, thank you for being here this morning, George, and appreciate your presence, and many of you already know him. But we're going to talk about maybe what your journey has been, and maybe someone can get something out of that. And how did your process begin? What was the obstacle that you faced in your life that led you to get onto your journey?
Yeah, well, in the late 70s to the late 80s, I found myself living in the fast lane, a very fast lane. While I was in that lane, I was introduced to a new lover. The lover's name was Coco. Now, because of my loyalty to Coco, I ended up in a downward spiral that took me in the deepest, deepest, darkest place.
Okay, I understand that. So
Maybe I should clarify Coco. Those, I think most of you understand.
well, let's put it this way. I'm familiar with that a little bit myself. And there was a person in my life who became the first known 24-hour pharmacist. And he wasn't licensed, but he was always open, and he always had an adequate supply, if you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
Okay. So how did that impact your life? You said you went to a dark place?
Yeah, and actually, I became totally spiritually, mentally, and physically bankrupt. I was mad. I was angry. I was resentful. I was blaming others for my situation, and I was just in that deep, deep, dark place.
So did you go through a period of time where you were kind of meander, like in a wilderness, before things got better for you?
Yeah, I did. It was actually I was in a place where I had no purpose. Mm-hmm. I just felt like I had no purpose. I had become a person that I really totally hated.
Gotcha. Now, was there a point where things turned around? Was there a turning point that made the difference?
Yeah, the turning point was when I found the 12-step program. That was my introduction to spirituality. The program gave me some sobriety, but it also gave me a way to cope with the baggage that I had accumulated.
So that was the key turning point.
That was the key turning point.
Now, after that time, were there some tools or principles or practices that you used to help you?
Yeah, actually, what I call kind of my secondary turning point is finding SLC. Mm-hmm. And I really think that was through divine intervention that in 2001, I found SLC and the Unity movement, and I eased into the new thought thinking because I had no idea what it was all about. So I did ease into it, but I did finally become totally immersed in it, and I took advantage of all the classes that I could. I took advantage of workshops. Probably the most significant thing in my transformation is the Q effect. The Q effect has definitely, I want to say kept me centered, but let's say kept me close to centered.
Got you.
So yeah, and yeah, that's.
So along the way in this journey, what did you discover about yourself?
Well, because I had to think about this one a little bit. Because I have accepted that I am a child of God. That it has allowed me to accept that even though with my disease and with my character defects, that I'm still a whole, complete, compassionate, and loving person.
Yes.
Now the real gift here is that I can now actually love myself.
Oh, wonderful. So how would you say your life is today after going through your journey?
Well, yeah, I went through a period of absolute chaos, and today I can really say that my life is primarily peace and serenity. I
Yes.
say primarily because there are those days.
Yes. Yes, there'll be days like that, but we keep on keeping on.
Yeah.
Well, George, thank you so much for sharing your journey, and I hope some folks got something out of it as well.
I do want to make one last comment that I am absolutely, totally grateful and blessed to have found SLC, and that SLC and the unity principles are a major part of my life today.
All righty. Thank you. That's magnificent. Thank you, George. Well, if you're interested in your own transformation, just remember there are so many activities that help foster transformation in our lives. So you can check out our weekly small groups and other offerings that we have. You can check out our website for all the activities that are taking place at Spiritual Life Center. Look at our bulletin board that's in the courtyard that gives a list of our activities, or you can go to the hub and sign up for an event that may be coming up. So we look forward to others sharing your story at some point of your transformational journey. You know, one of the things we also do at Spiritual Life Center, as one of our goals, is connect with other people, because that's one of the ways that, you know, the transformation takes place. We may learn something from another individual based upon what they say to us or how we interact with them or what we share. And you don't have to wait for an activity to do that. You can connect with somebody right now. So find a friend or a neighbor, someone you don't know, and just say, "You are marvelous, glad you are here," and just make that connection with someone.
All right. Please stay standing for our group song. Go ahead, Carol, take it away.
That's my note, and I'm gonna sing this song, y'all. Yeah. Everything that I need to know about what lies before me, everything that I need to know about what lies before me is available to me. Now it's available to me through the mind of God within me.
Sing it along.
Everything that I need to know about what lies before me, everything that I need to know about what lies before me is available to me. Now it's available to me through the mind of God within me.
Take it up.
Right. Everything that I need to do about what lies before me, everything that I need to do about what lies before me is available to me. Now it's available to me through the mind of God within me. Now we go to the things. Everything that I need to release
seated. And as we settle into the contemplative portion of our service, we're going to speak out loud and embody these words of our vision statement. Spiritual Life Center is a loving, vibrant family that welcomes home all people and accepts everyone, no exceptions, weaving ancient spiritual traditions with emerging wisdom. We cultivate a spiritual deepening with the divine, each other, and our planet. And then we'll sing this beautiful chant by Richard Burdick. God is here, God is now.
God is here, God is now, God is all. God is alive within my heart. So I see and I feel and I know all is perfect and right in my world. God is here, God is now, God is all. God is the life within my heart. So I see and I feel and I know all is perfect and right in my world. God is here, God is now, God is all. God is alive within my heart. So I feel and I know all is perfect and right. All is perfect and right. All is perfect and right in my world.
All is perfect and right in our world. Now take a deep breath and slowly exhale. Allow yourself to relax. Drop your shoulders. Relax your eyelids. Inhale gently, and then exhale gently. And now gently, gently allow yourself to drift into a light daydream. A soft mist surrounds you and lifts you up until your consciousness floats free and you begin to see another, more ethereal realm. Here the mist vibrates and sparkles, and points of light wink in and out, and they seem to revolve around you. And as you watch and feel this active mist, one of the winking lights approaches you and expands into a brilliantly colored ball. And then other lights approach, each expanding into a brilliant ball of light, each one taking on a different color. You are encircled by pulsing, brilliantly colored orbs. They are silent, yet they are very vibrant and active. And now you hear the soft murmurings of a voice. And it's so soft at first you can't tell where it comes from or what it's saying. And then the sound comes again just a little more clearly. And it's saying your name. Looking around at the glowing orbs, you realize that one of them is burning a little brighter, its color a little purer, and it is the one that is calling your name. It is calling you. And as you focus on that particular orb, it again calls your name, this time very clearly. And as you connect, it gently, lovingly pulls you right in. And you are engulfed by the colored light. You know this is where you are meant to be. Your light has called you and you have answered. In this realm, you know everything that you need to know. You see everything that you need to see. You hear everything that you need to hear. Heal everything you need to heal. And you take it all in the silence. And now you and your colored sphere gently float apart. In gratitude, you watch as the balls of light begin to rotate around you. Each ball spins faster and faster until they somehow catch up with one another and merge, billowing into one holy white orb that sparkles and pulses and shines. And though you understand that you are called to the one small colored orb that is uniquely yours, it is also part of the one holy orb. That seemingly small part that you play in life is one aspect, and your aspect is integral to the whole. As you take a breath or two to return to your body, receive this blessing. Oh, my beloved, it is okay to make your life your life. When you are complete, you only add to the whole because everything is an aspect of the whole. The universe cannot do it without any of its aspects. You are a holy part of the whole. It matters to you, it matters to others, it matters to the universe. And when you answer the call, when you are truly you, the angels sing. Remember this, always.
Oh, let us be a generation of reconciliation and peace, and let us be a holy nation where cease. Let us speak the truth in love, so that everyone may see. When we serve the light in unity, we all will be set free. Let us be a generation of reconciliation and peace. Oh, let us be a generation of reconciliation and peace. And let us build on one foundation till love comes and wars of men shall cease. Let us share the love of spirit without hypocrisy. Let mercy and forgiveness begin with you and me. Let us be a generation of reconciliation and peace. Have we not one family? Have we not one faith? Have we not one calling to become one holy race? Let us be a generation of reconciliation and peace. And let us pray for restoration and seek the light together for this peace. Let us keep our hearts from anger and cling to what is good. Let us honor one another in love it's understood. Let us be a generation of reconciliation and peace. Oh yeah, yeah. Let us be a generation of reconciliation and peace. Oh yeah, reconciliation and peace.
Thank you, Carol and Lurie and the Soul Light Connection. Let us be a generation of reconciliation. Oh, it's a beautiful morning. It's a beautiful day. Glad to be here this morning. I didn't wake up that way, feeling that way this morning, so I said, need something to brighten up my day. That's why I'm wearing the bright jacket. Yes, you picked the colors orange and turquoise. Okay, this is a very tropical color. Anyway, I remember a young man, his name was Alex. And Alex was a very talented painter. He had his own art studio, and he was doing pretty well, but somewhere along the line in his life, he had lost his creative spark, or at least he thought he did. And he said he would stand in front of his blank canvas, and he'd feel uninspired, and sometimes he'd just feel absolutely defeated, because of the way his life was going. And he would say to himself something to the effect, oh, I can't seem to do anything right. I can't create anything. I can't seem to do anything meaningful anymore in my life. And he started going down a downward spiral, and it affected him emotionally, spiritually, and psychologically. And one day, one of his friends, who happened to be a mentor, came by, and he visited him, and he sensed that Alex was struggling. He sensed that he was engaging in feelings of frustration, and he said to him, Alex, artistry is a reflection of the soul. And the canvas is really a mirror of your own potential. And if you want to turn your life around, start by picking up the brush and allowing your thoughts just to flow onto the canvas. And Alex said to him, I don't know if I could do that because I have painter's block. I'm stuck. And the mentor said, really? Do you think when a plumber comes to your house and says, I can't fix your sink because I have plumber's block, that's a real thing? No, that's nothing more than a belief. See, a plumber doesn't have plumber's block because that's what he does. He doesn't have plumber's block because that's who he is. And he said to Alex, the only way to transform that blank canvas into that masterpiece is to reflect your vision and your experiences, is to simply get started. And he got started and he began to create magnificent pieces of art. It attracted people from miles around, and after a while, just to make a long story short, Alex was standing before his art surrounded by admirers, and he realized that the true beauty of his art was not just in finishing the painting, but in the journey he undertook to create it. He discovered that by altering his thoughts and embracing his own creative power, he could shape his life into a work of art, a masterpiece of authenticity, a masterpiece of purpose. And I look at that story and I realize that Alex was a testament to the potential that lies within each of us. And just like that painter and his canvas, we have the ability to transform our lives brushstroke by brushstroke and create a masterpiece that reflects our true selves. We have the power to turn our lives around. It's a power that is within us and is waiting to be unleashed. And I came to the realization that if any point in time that we're unhappy with the direction our life is going, with the direction where our life is moving, it can be turned around. And yet the first thing we must understand that in order to turn around our life, no matter where it may be at any given time, we have to realize this. It's our life. And our life, first and foremost, starts with our thoughts. I know it's fundamental. But we can change our life by first altering our thinking. This is obviously easier said than done sometimes. Because sometimes I wake up in the morning, I say, today I'm only going to think positive, uplifting thoughts all day long. And then when I walk out the door, the first thing that comes to my mind, I could never do this. I've already thought negative. So it's not always easy. But we have to be aware of what's going through in our minds. But this is key because our thoughts influence our actions that we take throughout the day and are a preview of our life experiences. If we want to know what our life is going to look like, start looking at what our thoughts are being at any given moment. And then we realize that secondarily that life is consciousness. We use that word a lot. We oftentimes say, what does that really mean? It's really the sum total of our beliefs. Beliefs that are energized by feelings that we have. Thank goodness not every single thought that we have shows up, but those that are backed up by energy and feeling do matter. Thoughts that we constantly experience and sense reinforce and create our consciousness. So you and I may stand today. Wherever we are today is due to what has brought us here by our consciousness. And the only way to stand somewhere else, other than where we are right now, we have to change our consciousness. And if we want to go up higher, which we can definitely do no matter where we are, because I always believe no matter what we've done or not done, no matter where we are, there's always more in us waiting to be expressed. And there's really no limit to how high we can elevate our life. But we have to renew our mind. First and foremost, we have to begin to rethink. You know, there's that statement that be ye transformed by the renewing of our minds. You know, Alex had to rethink the belief that he had something called painter's block. And like plumber's block, it was not a real thing. It's something somebody made up that he accepted, and it became part of his consciousness. And certain states of consciousness end up creating limitations in our lives. When they are recycled, they create sometimes a negative momentum. There's a statement attributed to Jesus that says, in this world you shall see tribulation, but be of good cheer. I have overcome the world. And what does that mean? Well, let me tell you, in my view, it means getting into a higher level of consciousness. Getting to a higher level of consciousness in order to experience freedom from limitation we are going through and rise above what we think is unhappy about our life. You know, years ago I was counseling a young person, a woman who had been released from her job. And she thought and she believed and she felt demoralized as a result of that. And after thinking it through, and she realized to turn her experience around, she had to get out of the belief that, oh, I'm demoralized. Oh, woe is me kind of awareness, and get into the awareness that I am inspired. That's a new kind of consciousness for her, and the new kind of thinking. She had to get into the feeling that a possibility is always available to me. So she has that possibility consciousness, and to feel it deeply within herself. So when we hear the words, I've overcome the world, it means getting into a higher level of awareness. As I said, life is consciousness. If we were to sum up this whole philosophy that we have, it's really that. 3 words, life is consciousness. It is outpicturing our deeply held beliefs and our authentic feelings. So I think to turn our life around in any given situation, or at any point, we must get the thought, we must get the feeling that we are seeking is coming through us and not to us. Whatever we want, it has to come through us and as us. So when that young person who was released from that position, she realized that she had to have a different consciousness, have a different thought, different feeling, that it was already there for her. It was already at work, waiting for her awareness to catch up with it. I think for ourselves, if we are not satisfied with the direction our life is taking at any given moment, for ourselves or for the world, or unhappy with experiences that are continuously showing up, we can change by getting into a kind of attitude and feeling that we would take on or have if we were actually experiencing what we desire and how we want our life to be. We got to feel it right now, even if all the appearances are to the contrary. Because the human ego will say, I don't believe it's possible. I feel I'm unworthy. I feel defeated. But our thoughts and feelings are not beyond the control of our willpower. We are not our thoughts. We are not our feelings. We have them. And there is a higher part of us that has those thoughts and feelings, and we can reverse that. I think to help rethink and turn our life around, there's a simple and powerful tool at our disposal that we can use. And that is questions. Questions we ask ourselves. I've come to believe that if we ask bigger, more expansive, richer questions of ourselves, our life begins to change simply by asking the question, because I realize that the mind works by trying to find answers to questions that we pose. You know, I remember I was at crossroads in my life, and I was feeling stuck. And I went to a person who was wise and experienced for counsel. And he served as an informal mentor for me. And as I was explaining what I was going through, having my story, he kind of interrupted me and asked me, now, who are you uninterrupted? And I told him, I don't quite understand your question. What do you mean by that? So he went on to elaborate and asked, what if nothing stood in the way of your life from achieving what you want? What would your life look like? And those questions kind of stopped me in my tracks because I hadn't really consciously thought about those things. I hadn't thought about what was interrupting me in the first place, or what those interruptions were that were stopping me from stepping into a high level or a higher level of being. And if I began to answer that question, a transformation actually began. And my life began to turn around, and I was guided by asking right questions and embracing the possibilities by asking those questions. Because I realized that by asking the right questions, we can gain greater clarity. You know, we challenge our assumptions, and we discover new possibilities by genuine repentance and rethinking. There's a bunch of questions we can ask, but I've been thinking about a couple of them that will help us transform our life. And the first one is like, what is truly important to me, to my soul? Oftentimes we get caught up in the busyness of life and lose sight of our true priorities, our purpose, and why we are here. And I think by asking ourselves what's important, we can help identify our core values and our aspirations that our soul is longing for. And I think this question forces us to reflect on what brings us joy, what brings us fulfillment, what brings us a sense of purpose. Because when we align with our actions, with our values, we create a life that is meaningful. And when we're captured by our purpose, we rise above the lesser problems. Because I realize that, you know, the problems or challenges that we have, this is not of God. They're always of ourselves. I would come to the realization, God don't know nothing about your problem. We do. And we keep reinforcing the problem over and over again by our thinking about it and our perspective of it. But when we begin to ask a bigger question, we rise above the problem, and the problems begin to return to the nothingness from which they have come, never to exist again. And there's a second question I think we must ask: what am I afraid of? And what is it costing me? You know, I always say that healthy fear is okay. We needed fear for survival at parts of our history as human beings. And I say if a person has absolutely no fear in their life, they're probably psychopathic. Or they're not going to survive very long. We have to have a sense of healthy fear. But there are some fears that, you know, which is a powerful emotion, can hold us back from pursuing our dreams and reaching our full potential, no matter what stage of life we're in. I think by acknowledging and understanding our fears, we confront them head on, and we can break free of their grip. You know, somebody told me that when it comes to fear, the best thing to do, to face it, to erase it. You know, a lot of times I don't want to face my fears. Let me turn around and get away from this. But he said, you got to face it to erase it. So I think this question about what do we fear encourages us to engage in self-reflection and awareness. It helps us identify the limiting beliefs and behaviors that are hindering our progress. I think such a question helps us rethink, and this rethinking leads us to act differently, create differently, and so we have different experiences. Because if we never think differently, we end up staying the same. You know, the world is always moving forward, but if we're staying the same, we're actually going backwards. And sometimes we're feeling like we're on that hamster wheel of life, never turning our life or circumstances around. You know, there's a friend, Miguel, I've known. He always wanted to be a writer. You know, he did some other things, and accounting and, you know, really practical things in his life. But he always dreamed of publishing a novel. But he doubted his abilities. He feared rejection that we often have in our life. And that fear of failure had become a significant barrier in pursuing his passion. And recognizing that this fear was preventing him from living and fulfilling his life, he decided to face it. He got feedback from friends and mentors. He honed his writing skills, and he ultimately self-published a book, and in Latin America, it was very popular. And if he hadn't done that, he would have just been staying stuck, not turning around and getting in tune with what he'd come here to be. I think by asking the right questions can be a catalyst for transformation in our life. It requires introspection and honesty and willingness to challenge our current beliefs, challenge our assumptions. By doing so, we open ourselves up to a new perspective, a new possibility, and opportunities for growth. Well, anyway, I just think it's never too late to turn our life around. It's never too late to break free from the patterns of negativity that keep showing up over and over again. Those patterns may be beliefs and feelings like, oh, I'm too old, I'm too young to do this, or I'm always believing that my life will never work, or I'm destined to be lonely or always in financial straits. We have to rethink and infuse those thoughts with feeling, then follow that higher way of thinking and feeling and living with that energy. And as we do that, we can wake up from our self-limiting negative momentum and thoughts and wake up to a self-releasing to become upward moving in our life. And we begin to experience the endless flow of good that the universe has for us. And that's what the real meaning of repent means. It's simply reverse our minds so that we can elevate our awareness to break free from limited conditions. So we ask empowering questions and thoughts and beliefs. What am I programming in my mind? I always have to, sometimes somebody said, to ask questions that presume a good answer. You can actually, repeat after me. You must say, why am I so magnificent? Why am I so amazing? Why am I so abundant? Why am I so healthy? Why am I so good looking? You start asking questions like that. And it begins to change your whole awareness and consciousness. But understand that, turning ourselves around not only applies to us individually, but applies to the very planet in which we live. If we want peace, if we want love in all the land, as Pharaoh Sanders said, the Creator has a master plan, peace and love in all the land. I think that's our aspiration as a community, as a human species. So we don't want to limit to what we do to a single peace rally or even a series of them. We must begin to claim we want peace, but we can't say we want peace whenever we are using violent language toward others or to ourselves. We can't stand for peace when we're emanating unpeaceful energy and language or actions, where somebody's going off to a place of peace and joy and magnificence, but they're trampling on the flowers on the way to get there. Or when somebody crosses us up in traffic, we give them, you are number one salute. We don't want to do that. We must demonstrate what we want to see in the world. When we see anything in the external world does not reflect the highest and best of who we are, rather than judge it or another person, we look to see if there's some aspect of ourselves that we need to turn around first. And if enough people turn around, something within their consciousness, something new emerges. We could look out at the world and see evidence of separation. It's pervasive. Not living our oneness with the Spirit of living God or with each other. We see war, we may see violence, we see political polarization, we see bigotry. All of these things are messages that there's an opportunity to turn around a lower vibration into a higher vibration to realize our oneness with all the qualities of God. And it starts with one person at a time. We ask, what would be the highest expression of myself that I want to see in the world? And we ask that the first thing in the morning as we start our day, and not walking out the door until we are that person. When there's adversity in our life, of course, we want to ask, how can I turn this around? Sometimes we have to go counterculture, go against what the collective belief systems are. You know, when everybody's in a consciousness of lack and limitation and not enoughness, that's the time to come from a consciousness of abundance and be a magnificent giver. When seeming like everyone else is in fear, that's when we exercise our faith muscle. When people are in their bag of hate and bigotry, or otherizing people, that is the time to show compassion. When the world believes that, I have to win and for you to lose, therefore I have to kind of destroy my competition, that's where we practice the law of being, the thing we want to see, and we begin to attract that in our life with ease and with grace. There's more than enough to go around. Some of these actions are counterculture. But as more and more people do that, we can begin to turn our world around. Because our world is nothing more than a reflection of the group soul, the group consciousness. Because as we say, as within, so without. And as we change, not only we turn our life around, our circumstances around, but we turn around and uplift the entire world. This is what it's all about. Peace and blessings to you. Well, next week I'll be talking on the topic, did you make the grade? You know, I'm talking about, I don't know exactly what I'm going to talk about, but I know that this is around the time of the year for graduations, and, we're going to talk about, are we making the grade in our own life to move to the next level? For those who wish to have prayer immediately after the service, we have prayer chaplains that are available. If you have a challenge or something that you want to have prayed over to see it from a different perspective, they're available to pray with you in the courtyard right after the service. At this time, I just to invite those who may be new to Spiritual Life Center. And if you're online, you can also let us know about what's happening with you and to help us stay in touch with you and let you know what's going on in our community. And you can fill out an online welcome card. Anyone can do that. And at slcworld.org. And connect and find a welcome card. But I want to ask any newcomers here this morning in person. Well, it seems like we're all new because we're different. We're different after this talk than we were before it. So we're new in some way, shape, or form. So we're all new in some shape or some way or another. At this time, I'm going to invite those who are online that would like to support Spiritual Life Center with your gift or offering. You can simply text SLC Love to 44321. That's SLC Love to 44321. Or go to our website, slcworld.org. Click the Donate tab, and you can find ways to give, including by mail. At those who are present that would like to give, just know that you're in the flow of a principle that says that you can never outgive the universe. You can never outgive God. And that whatever you give comes back to you. So if you're giving today, that you're in the flow of this principle. And if you're giving and have given automatically or online, just know that, whatever you support comes back to you. And so with that awareness, let's say our offertory blessing together. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I circulate. Thank you, God.
Hey, here we go, y'all. Oh. Reggae beat, y'all know them beats. Something wonderful, yeah. Something wonderful is happening to me. Right here, right now. Something wonderful, yeah. Something wonderful is happening to me. Right here, right wonderful. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. Something wonderful. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. With all this love inside, we can let it shine. Yeah, yeah. Something wonderful. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. Yeah, yeah. Something wonderful. Oh, something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. Something wonderful. Whoa, 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 whoa. Something wonderful. Wonderful. Happening right here, right now. Something wonderful. Yeah, something wonderful is happening to me right now. Something wonderful.
I can't believe you sat down for that whole song.
So we're standing up on the.
No, that was some good chair dancing, though.
Yes.
Yeah,
Everyone's standing up on the inside.
yeah.
Something wonderful is happening right here, right now. That's each and every one of us are here because we are expressions of the Spirit of the living God. That in and of itself is wonderful. And it's also wonderful for us to affirm those who have supported Spiritual Life Center with their gift or offering today, either in person or online, or giving by automatic giving each week or each month, to support a place that is providing a container for those who are looking to grow, develop, and unfold, not only for themselves, but for the very planet in which we live. So we appreciate and so thanks for those who have supported us. We also appreciate and affirm those who have left their prayers in the prayer box today or throughout the week, recognizing that we all have times in which we have challenges in life, and we need support from that unnameable something we call the Spirit of the living God that has the answer even before we know what the question is. As the statement goes, before they call, I have already answered them. Our job is simply to raise ourselves in our energy, our vibration, and our consciousness and awareness to be one with the answer, and then watch how the miracle shows up in ways we never imagined and from directions we never thought of. It's already done, and we simply accept it as we go forth doing our part to spread the all good. And so it is, and so we let it be. Amen. Let us join in as we affirm our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is. I am. And all is well. Let us sing our peace.
Creator
Peace and blessings to you. Got a little postlude music? Yes.
All right, Carol. Come on, Carol. We're all waiting.
Y'all know what that means.
Girl, show us.
I ain't gonna let nobody turn me around. Turn me around. I said, turn me around. I said, I ain't gonna let nobody turn me around. I'm gonna keep on walking. I'm gonna keep on talking. I'm gonna build a brand new. That's what Papa said. World.